Well, hello there. So, I am recording this podcast on September 15th. And I must say that while it may feel like we are easing back into the quote unquote new normal, historical trends are telling us that we are about to experience an eminent economic aftershock. And that may not look so pretty for some. Others are looking to capitalize on a wide open track for opportunity. So I'm hearing questions like this: what kind of investment should I make during a downturned market? How do I prepare for the future when I don't know what the future holds? How do I prevent coiling up and just leaping into defensive mode? So here's the $1,000,000 question that we are working through with our clients. What can I do right now that will catapult my business? And perhaps you have a similar question yourself. So I want to share with you the anchor strategy to change your reference point of wounded or disrupted thinking to that of taking initiative or proactively disrupting during a time of opportunity. Join me for this foundational episode, Think Bigger. So let me tell you a story about one of our now thriving clients, Dr. Worthington. Dr. Worthington, well, he wasn't always thriving. In fact, when he came to me, he told me that he had been in business for 8 years and grew for the first 5 years, but had been idling at this around 5-year revenue number for the past 3 years. So essentially, he had hit a plateau. He was an established surgeon with a track record of success, and he was investing in programs to gain exposure, brand recognition, and he had a steady book of leads into the practice. He had been able to, attend ample conferences. He had worked with a handful of consultants, both via industry and privately, and he had listened to 1,000 webinars, quote unquote. But at some point, he just stopped growing. Well, you most likely went to a conference one time, probably last year, and you got all fired up and excited and came back with pages of notes, a handful of new contacts, and some really great photos for Instagram. And you most likely did not double your business. Why are we so enthusiastically seeking out information and knowledge for the, secret answer to all of our problems, yet things still don't really work quite like we expect them to? Why is that? Well, I believe that we're a society that is infatuated with instant gratification. We are persistently searching for the next answer, for a quick win, and we're rushing to change our circumstances without changing the context of the story that got us there to where we are to begin with. We buy a gym pass in January and get all pumped up about New Year, New Me. And then by February, we're back in the same spot we were on December 31st, fat and fat up. So what gives? Here's the thing. Before you can possibly begin to achieve bigger, you must think bigger. I remember the first time I went to New York City, and FYI, I'm an all-in California beach girl. I was blown away by the bustling city, the lights, the noise, the taxis. Quite honestly, I was overwhelmed. I really didn't have an innate sense of direction, and I really couldn't understand all the mystique and hype around how special New York was. I felt cramped up in a small hotel room. There were trash bags lining streets. The restaurants were packed. The stores were enormous. I was really viewing New York as it was from the ground level. Okay, hang tight before you send me any hate mail, my New York natives. Stay with me here. So after that experience, the next time I went to New York, a business colleague of mine said, "Kaylee, let me show you the city." And she took me up to a penthouse on Park Avenue. And let me tell you, my entire perspective changed. I could see the whole city, sweeping views of Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, iconic monuments, heaven. I literally could not believe this was the same city. This experience opened my eyes to the reality that we are only as abundant as our perspective. In order to experience a different outcome, we must operate from a new reality. New York hadn't changed. My vantage point, my approach to New York changed. So there's a famous Einstein quote, I might botch it, but something to the effect of, you cannot solve a problem with the same complexity of which you created it. And this was, in fact, what was missing for Dr. Worthington. He had been operating a business on the construct of visionary principles that he had employed 8 years ago. It wasn't the tactics that needed to change. It was the complexity, or the magnitude rather, of his perspective. He was working hard, but he was at a major disadvantage and, quite frankly, overpaying for subpar results from a variety of industry partners who were unknowingly keeping him trapped. So today I'd like to share with you how Dr. Worthington was able to double his monthly revenue in 1 year after being stuck for 3. And this is the same strategy that has guided our clients through record-breaking revenue months over the past 60 days, even in an economic downturn. And that's by trading in status quo thinking for exponential thinking. If you'd like to go through this exercise, I want to share with you these 3 steps. Save this episode so that you can actually go through and do this when you are in a quiet place with no distractions. I highly encourage you. This experience could literally be life-changing for you. So number 1, start with the 10-year plan. That's right. We aren't planning for next year. We're taking our vision from ground level to penthouse suite. What will your business and life look like in 10 years? Not as an idea, but as a reality. What does the structure of your business look and feel like? Who are the people around you? What are you wearing? Where are you? What kind of car do you drive? How does it smell? What can you taste? That vividly visualize your immaculately designed life and write it down. And then after you do that, think about it. How do you feel? Sit with it, feel it, live it. Number 2, tease out your vision into goals. So write them as if they had already happened. So what you're doing is creating goals actually in past tense. So I built $1 million business. I wrote a best-selling novel. I gave a TED Talk. I have an all-in team of 50 people. I vacation 8 weeks out of the year. I sold my practice for millions. Take your 10-year vision and break it down into goals. And then step number 3, who do you need to become? Who do you need to become to make this 10-year vision a reality? Notice I didn't say, what do you need? Remember, when you elevate to penthouse thinking, you get to become the unapologetic leader of that vision. You make decisions from a different level of complexity. You tolerate less. You accept more into your life. You live with more passion. This person has the answers and can unearth the resources to accomplish exponential achievement. So I want you to engage the idea of a 10x vision. Even if you'll never get there, you will change your thinking, which will change your thinking, which will in turn change your results. Remember Dr. Worthington? Thinking bigger for him opened up a whole new world of possibility. He hired stronger people, designed a more efficient marketing and sales infrastructure, and he has been able to build up a cash flow reserve that will allow him to thrive in any economic downturn. And I've created a proprietary method you can learn more about on our website, klcconsultants.com. It's called the SPEED method, SPEED. And this is where we take you from concept to outsource delegation through a 5-step process. Now, between vision to actualization, there lies the stuffing and the Oreo, right? This is where that seemingly mundane process of really articulating and reverse engineering your big goals into actionable steps happens. And these steps will then eventually be delegated to each team member and taken off your plate. And this is really where we can come in and help. So I'd like to invite you, if perhaps you feel like you are on the ground floor of Manhattan. Some days maybe you can't see the forest through the trees. You have big goals, but you're not sure how to prioritize them. You might be making investments and you aren't quite fully confident if they're producing a return for you, be it marketing, your systems, or even your team. You're not alone. In fact, I've worked with hundreds of business owners who have been exactly in your shoes. You're looking to build a deeply satisfying, lucrative, freedom-based business that will stand the test of time. Join me on October 1st for an elevated conversation about the real future of 2020 and the reality of what it's going to take to position yourself to level up your business and disrupt your market, to unlock more cash, more influence, and more autonomy in any economy. And you can register for that if that sounds like something that you're interested in and would be the right fit for you. It's called our Performance for Profit Masterclass, and you can register at klcconsultants.com/dream team. Thanks for joining me today. Take the time to go through this exercise, and I would love to hear from you. What'd you come up with in your 10-year vision? All right, guys, thanks. See you next episode.